This is the Sleep Story Temple, where stories become medicine and ancient wisdom carries you into deep rest. Breathe gently, and let us begin tonight's journey. Night has settled on the high mountains. Snow lines glow like quiet ink along the ridges. Prayer flags stitch the wind to the sky. A butter lamp trembles and steadies. The world exhales. You are safe here. You are warm enough. You are exactly on time. In the hush, footsteps soften on wooden boards. An elder healer opens a small door. Inside, shelves hold seeds, roots, and leaves. A singing bowl fades into a silver hush. Your breath finds the room's rhythm. Inhale slowly through the nose. 4 soft counts. Exhale like a long rope down the well. 6 gentle counts. Again, light and easy. Nothing to force, only returning. These mountains keep an old medicine. They call it the science of healing, Soa Rigpa. The body is a small landscape within a great one. Wind, fire, water, earth, and space weave their quiet threads. Balance is the way they remember each other. Tonight, we will walk the easy path. Stories first. Understanding next. Sleep arriving by itself. If thoughts knock, let them sit by the door. If feelings rise, let them pass like cloud over stone. You do not have to hold anything. You only have to be held. The elder sets a cushion near the lamp. A bowl of warm water waits for your hands. The room smells faintly of cedar and rain. Somewhere beyond the wall, a yak bell answers the wind. Everything leans toward rest. In this place, medicine, meditation, and mindfulness became one, a way of listening to breath and season, a way of tending the small fire in the belly, a way of letting the 3 winds grow calm. Breathe in softly. Exhale a little longer. Let the shoulders loosen by 1 grain. Let the jaw remember ease. Let the eyes grow heavy without closing the heart. You have traveled far enough for tonight. Let the mountain keep the watch. Let the healer keep the lamp. Let your breath keep the simple promise of returning. When you are ready, we will begin with the first story, the birth of Highland medicine, and how the body learned to listen like a valley listens to rain. Before names, there was listening. Before books, there was wind on stone. Highland people learned to hear what the mountain was saying. They called it medicine only later. At first, it was simply how to live. At the edge of a lake, a child watched ripples. A pebble fell, The rings traveled. Her grandmother said, "See how one small thing touches everything." In winter, smoke wrote letters into the cold. In spring, meltwater stitched valleys together. In summer, barley rose with quiet courage. In autumn, yaks lowered their heads like prayers. The body learned these seasons from the inside. An elder Amchi remembers. He learned by sweeping floors and boiling water. He learned by carrying baskets of roots up steep paths. His teacher spoke few sentences and many silences. Silence, he said, is a classroom that does not tire. They kept 5 elements in their pocket of mind: space for things to be, air for movement and breath, fire for warmth and change, water for joining and flow, earth for steadiness and form. From these, 3 winds arose in the body: a wind that moves and thinks, a fire that digests and decides, a water earth that cools and remembers. Balance is not a trick. The elder smiles. It is a friendship among these 3. He places 3 lamps on the floor. One flickers and makes shadows restless. One flares hot and startles the room. One is heavy with wax and barely speaks. Then he trims, breathes, and tends. All 3 become steady. Like this, he says, we keep company with ourselves. Across the plateau, before Buddhism came walking, the old Bön ways watched the weather of the unseen. They listened to the mountain as a relative, not a thing. When Buddhism arrived with compassion as its first step, the 2 sat together like neighbors at tea. From that meeting came a gentle agreement. Harm less. Help where you can. Observe with patience. Act with clarity. Let care be a bridge instead of a performance. A traveler came one evening, tired as a spent bell. He had crossed passes where breath thins and thoughts grow loud. He asked for strong medicine. The elder offered warm water. First, he said, we remind the wind to sit. The clinic was small and exact. Shelves held dried flowers tied with cord. Seeds slept in clay jars. Bundles of roots waited like old stories. A copper bowl kept the room's reflection in a shallow moon. No one hurried. The healer washed his hands as if greeting them. He touched the traveler's wrist with 3 fingers. Light, lighter, lightest. River surface, mid-current, deep flow. What do you hear? The traveler whispered. I hear movement that forgot to rest, the elder said. I hear warmth that grew impatient. I hear a lake that wants to lie still. Outside, The wind lifted the prayer flags. Colors shook like birds learning to fly. Inside, a kettle clicked once and fell quiet. The traveler's shoulders softened by a pebble's width. Sometimes that is all that is needed. The elder spoke of food the way one speaks of weather. Warm at night, he said, simple and kind. Spices like small lamps, not fireworks, enough to satisfy, early enough to sleep. He spoke of breath without big promises. In longer, out longer. 3 minutes makes a difference the mind cannot argue with. Breath is a shepherd. It gathers the scattered sheep of attention. It closes the gate gently. He spoke of sleep as a guest with dignity. Prepare the room. Dim the lamps. Close the ledgers of the day. Lay one true thing on the table. I did what I could. Then let the guest enter without inspection. On the far wall hung a painted wheel, not to frighten, not to preach. It simply reminded the eye that change is the ordinary air of things. Peace, the elder said, is not an absence of movement. It is movement that remembers its home. The traveler watched the elder grind a root in a mortar. Stone humming stone. A smell like forests after rain rose and settled. I will give you stories, the elder said, and a few sips of warmth. Stories are blankets that never wear out. A novice entered, bowing with a pitcher. She learned by watching the angle of the elder's hands, by hearing which pauses meant listen again, by noticing when the room itself took a breath. This was their textbook. This was their clinic light. Outside, dusk folded the ridges in layers of violet. Yak bells moved like thoughts loosening. Inside, the butter lamp steadied and stayed. The elder returned the traveler's wrist to his own lap. Your wind will sit, he said. Your fire will learn patience. Your lake will remember its moon. He did not promise miracles. He promised companionship. He promised to keep watch while the night did its part. He promised that the body, like a valley, knows how to receive rain. The traveler lay down under a simple quilt. The novice placed a warm stone at his feet. A small window showed 3 stars leaning close. From somewhere, a bowl sang one note and let it fade. Sleep began to gather its tools. You are the traveler now. You are in the room that listens. Your breath is the first medicine. In softly through the nose. Out longer than you came in. Again, without effort. The elder's voice is a path of lanterns. We will follow it at the pace of kindness, from roots and winds to pulse and herbs, from food like comfort to practices like quiet rivers, nothing to pass or fail. only a remembering. When you are ready, we will walk to the next doorway. Shamanic roots meeting Buddhist compassion. Two neighbors at tea. Two streams braiding into one clear course. The mountains are not in a hurry. We do not need to be either. Before monasteries, there were caves and sky. Before commentaries, there were fires and footprints. People listened to mountain weather the way sailors listen to seas. They called the listening Bön. It was a kinship with land, wind, and unseen neighbors. A healer would greet a river like an elder. He would offer smoke to a ridge before crossing. He would ask a spring for patience in late summer. Not superstition. Relationship. Drums kept time with hoofbeats. Feathers read the way of clouds. Herbs were gathered with a word of thanks, so the hill did not feel emptied, only visited. Sickness was not a punishment. It was a mishearing. A thread pulled too hard in one place, not enough in another. The task was to reweave. Then, over long passes and through caravan towns, Buddhism came walking. It carried quiet in one hand and compassion in the other. It did not try to erase the mountain's language. It learned the grammar of wind. Monks brought bowls for begging and minds for softening. They met the Bön priests at thresholds, doorways smelling of juniper, threshold stones polished by seasons of feet. They sat down together. Tea poured. No debate, only questions with soft edges. What helps? What harms? Where does kindness begin? Compassion said, harm less. Observation said, look carefully. The mountain said, listen first. The healers nodded. A braid began. They shared maps of the unseen. Bön spoke of spirits as neighboring weathers. Buddhism spoke of mind as the sky holding all weathers. Both bowed to cause and effect. Both trusted practice to ripen results. From this meeting, medicine learned a posture. Knees to earth, spine to sky, hands open enough to receive, warmth steady enough to give. A novice carried a coal from the shaman's fire to the monk's lamp. The lamp kept the coal honest. The coal reminded the lamp it was once a tree. Old and new exhaled together. Smoke wrote a single sentence in the air. What changed? Less fear, more clarity. Less blame, more belonging. More ways to listen. To body, to breath, to season, to sorrow. If a child woke crying at midnight, the old way might greet the house spirits with food and song. The new way might sit with the child's breath until it lengthened, and teach the mother a night prayer for steadying. Together, they would open a window to the moon. If a hunter returned with a fever, the old way cooled him with river leaves and mountain shade. The new way asked the story of his days, his meals, his griefs, his sleep. Together, they found where fire had flared beyond its task and invited it back to its hearth. The monastery gate did not cancel the forest path. The forest path did not mock the monastery gate. They became two stairs to the same porch, where an amchi could sit and keep watch when storms wandered through a body. You can hear the blend in the clinic's sounds. A frame drum hanging quiet on a peg. A bell that speaks only twice a day. A mortar whose stone voice is patient. A window that knows when to open itself. The elder tells a story to the traveler. Once, a wind doctor followed a gust into a cave. Inside, he found a monk teaching breath like a tide. They bowed in the dark. The cave became a school. What did they teach? The traveler asks. That the world outside and the world inside agree. Snow melt and lymph, thunder and anger, evening lamp, and the war core of a belly after a simple meal. That the cure is often a change in rhythm, the elder says. Not a war, a remembering. He pours a little tea and watches the steam choose its path. Like this. The novice brings a small bundle wrapped in cloth, dried leaves, 3 berries, a thread of saffron like a sunbeam sleeping. The elder names none of them aloud. These are teachers, he whispers, not in charge, not props. They speak to wind, fire, and lake in their own grammar. He lays them down as if returning them to their field. A prayer flag snaps once outside and rests. The room takes the cue. The traveler's knee stops arguing with the bench. A breath arrives that does not need counting. The lamp makes a steady oval on the floorboards. Bön taught us to greet, says the elder. Buddhism taught us to release. Together, they taught us to be accurate and kind. He smiles without showing any teeth. Good bedside manners for a mountain. The traveler wonders about spirits. Are they real? He asks, embarrassed. Real is a word that loves to argue, the elder says. Try useful. If respect helps a house become peaceful, respect is useful. And mind, the traveler asks, how do we hold it? Not with fists, the elder says. Mind holds itself when breath is not chased. Let awareness be a wide bowl. Let thoughts be rain that comes and goes. The novice has been listening. She asks if all this can fit in notes. The elder shakes his head kindly. Notes are for forgetting later, he says. Listening is for remembering now. He shows them a simple line in the dust. This is the difference between fixing and tending. Fixing wants to finish. Tending wants to accompany. Medicine is tending. Outside, the light pulls gold from the stone. A raven measures distance with its voice. Smoke climbs, then drifts flat along the ridge. Weather is teaching without a chalkboard. Everyone is passing. The traveler looks at his hands. They seem to belong to the room, not a story about the room. He feels less like a guest, more like a neighbor. Will we use drums? He asks shyly. Sometimes, the elder says. Sometimes bells, sometimes recipes. Tonight, mostly breath. Because your wind is a fine horse who forgot to walk, and your fire is a cook who keeps tasting the pot, and your lake is a mirror with one stubborn ripple. We will greet them, he says, and ask them to remember their jobs. He points to the prayer flags through the window. Wind moves, fire warms, water earth holds, space lets them all be friends, and kindness is the rope that ties them together without knots. The novice sets out 3 cushions, one for the traveler, one for the elder, one for the night itself. It takes its seat without fuss. Now we braid, the elder says softly. A little of the old path that greets mystery. A little of the new path that clears confusion. Both in service of rest, both in service of clear seeing. He lifts the kettle and pours just enough. Drink slowly. Breath in 4, out in 6. Let warmth teach without talking. The drum on the peg remains silent. The bell waits for dawn. The mortar sleeps. Only the wind writes poetry on the flags. Only the body learns its own alphabet again. You are in this story now. You are sitting where rivers of tradition meet. You are not required to choose a side. You are invited to receive what is helpful, and to let the rest pass like cloud. If you like, place one palm on the heart, one on the belly. Say nothing aloud. Feel breath enter both rooms. Leave them tidier than it found them. When you are ready, we will walk to the next doorway together. The 3 winds will introduce themselves: breath, fire, and space, and you will greet them by their proper names. The elder draws 3 circles in a thin veil of dust. Not perfect, not needed. He labels none of them. He lets your breath find the names. First, the moving wind. Our lung. the messenger, the rider of breath and thought. It carries words across the mouth and dreams across the night. When it is balanced, attention is bright and gentle. When it forgets to rest, it scatters like birds at a sudden sound. He lifts a thin blue scarf and lets it float from his hand. This is wind remembering it does not need to push, he says. It travels because space welcomes it, not because it forces passage. Second, the warming fire, Nyepa, the cook and the lamp. It turns food into warmth, ideas into clarity, and effort into action. Balanced, it is courage with good manners. Unbalanced, it becomes a tongue too sharp for friendship, or a mind that cannot stop tasting the pot. The elder holds a small brass spoon over the lamp. He does not let it smoke. He does not let it go dim. He listens for the whisper that is neither brag nor beg. There, he nods. Enough to see, not enough to scorch. Third, the cool keeper, Bad Khan. Water and earth as one steady hand. It lubricates joints and memory. It anchors attention when the day is a river. Balanced, it is patience that does not fall asleep. Unbalanced, it turns to fog and heaviness, a lake that will not give back the moon. He sets a clay bowl of warm water on the floorboards. You can read a person by how they set a bowl, he smiles. Too fast, and the bowl complains. Too careful, and the hands forget they are hands. Balanced, and the bowl becomes a small season, placed, then quiet. The traveler asks how to greet each wind. The elder answers with breath, because breath is the language all three understand. For wind, he says, lengthen the exhale. In 4, out 6. In softly, out longer. Let shoulders drop by 1 grain. Let jaw unclench by a thought. Wind will sit when it remembers it is invited. For fire, he says, cool the picture. Imagine a lake at night, moon silver across black water. With each breath, lower the moon 1 finger width toward the surface. Let it touch. Let the lake hold it without splash. Fire learns respect from a quiet mirror. For water earth, he says, wake without violence. Small circles of the wrists. A gentle stretch of the side body. Then stillness again. Like stirring a pot that has slept. Just enough to release fragrance. He sketches 3 small lamps. The first flickers, wind too high. The second flares, fire too high. The third is dull, water earth too high. Balance is not a single brightness, he says. It is 3 lamps agreeing to share a room. You ask where space lives in all this. He lifts his palm and shows you nothing. Space is what lets the other 3 be friends, he says. It is the permission beneath their arguments. Without space, wind has nowhere to move, fire has nowhere to warm, and water earth has nowhere to rest. He invites you to place 1 hand on the heart, 1 on the belly. Now we listen to their meeting, he whispers. Inhale, both hands rise a little. Exhale, both hands settle a little. Notice which hand is eager. Notice which is shy. Do nothing about it. Noticing is a medicine that does not bruise. A novice brings 3 small objects: a feather, a coal, a smooth river stone. The elder lays them in a row. Wind remembers itself by feather, he says. Fire by coal that keeps its glow without leaping the hearth. Water earth by stone that holds cool even after noon. He tells a simple story. A shepherd once tried to quiet the flock by shouting. The flock ran. Another day, he walked slowly and breathed so the dog could hear it. The flock arranged itself around his patience. Winds are like that. They follow the pace you ask your breath to keep. You practice a minute together. 4 quiet inhales. 6 quiet exhales. No scoreboard. Only lanterns placed along a path you will walk anyway. Your ribs learn the distance between effort and ease. Your mind learns it can be carried without being dragged. What of thoughts, you ask? They are wind's children, he says. They grow wild when the yard is all fence and no field. Give them a field. Give them one job. Return when the bell of exhale rings. They will forget. Let them. Bells are patient. A kettle clicks and settles. Somewhere, a raven trades mountain for sky. The clinic smells of juniper and warm wood. The butter lamp finds a steady voice. The elder turns to fire. Fire loves purpose but hates prisons, he says. Feed it well, work worth doing, food that suits the hour. Do not feed it arguments for sport. Do not hand it the past as kindling all night. Write one true line for the day. I did what I could, and let the kitchen close. He turns to water earth. Let it be your bed and not your anchor. If you feel heavy, light a few small lamps, a short walk, a warm broth, a gentle laugh. Then honor its gift, the ability to stay. Sleep uses this gift to stitch the body back to itself. He draws the 3 circles again, smaller now, inside the outline of a human form. You are a weather system, he smiles. Not a machine to be scolded. Forecast with kindness. Dress for the season you find inside. If you like, he offers, try the lantern breath once more. In through the nose, counting 4. Out through the nose, counting 6. Imagine a lantern in the chest, growing steady, not bright. Imagine another in the belly, doing the same. 2 small harbors. Boats of thought come in, tie their line, fall quiet. Will this cure everything? The traveler asks. Nothing cures everything, the elder says, pleased with the question. But balance cures much that scolding never touched. It also makes remedies work kinder and sleep arrive on time. He gathers the feather, the coal, the stone. He places them back in the novice's hands with thanks. She bows to the objects first, then to the elder. The room agrees with this order. Outside, prayer flags list their colors to the evening. Inside, the bowl on the shelf settles a thin ring of light. The 3 winds are not perfect. They are companionable. Now that you know their voices, he says, you will hear them in your own breath. When wind rushes, lengthen the out-breath. When fire bites, cool the picture. When water-earth droops, wake it gently, then rest. He rises without hurry. So we read the pulse next, he smiles. Not to judge, to listen. Your wrist will tell a river story, and we will hear the banks and the bed and the depth. You stand with him. The floor creaks like a friendly door. The lamp does not waver. The night leans closer, curious but kind. Place one last breath here. In 4. Out 6. Let the 3 lamps agree to share your room. Let the space between them be large enough for sleep to walk through. When you are ready, we will offer the wrist to 3 patient fingers. We will read what the river says when no one is shouting. And we will answer with the quiet it has been asking for. The elder warms his hands above the butter lamp, not to chase heat, to remember softness. He dries them on a cloth that smells of cedar. Listening begins with how we touch, he says. You sit at the low table. Your wrist rests on a small silk pillow. The room is patient enough to keep you company. Juniper curls into the rafters like a slow thought returning. Outside, the mountain edits the wind into fewer words. 3 fingers, 3 positions, 3 depths. He places them lightly, then lighter, then lightest of all, as if a moth might prefer to stay. Surface first, like the river when the sun gets curious. A quick song, bright with stones and spring melt. Here is how you meet the day, he whispers. Here, the messenger tells us if the door was too crowded. He eases the pressure, mid-depth now. The river under its own reflection, steadying into story rather than news. Here is how food became warmth, how purpose met the hour. He softens again, deep, riverbed where night keeps its cool. Here is how you keep memory, how your sleep took your hand. He is not hunting anomalies. He is greeting neighbors. Between his fingers and your skin, no courtroom, only a conversation learned by standing in seasons. He is reading for relationships, wind with fire, fire with water, earth, all three with space. Sometimes his eyes close, not for trance, for fewer distractions in the listening. The novice watches the elder's breath instead of his face. Breath tells the page number. Face gives away the plot. What if I do not know what I hear? You ask softly. Then you know you are hearing. He smiles. Knowing that you don't know is a page with nothing wasted. In time, the wrist teaches the fingers a grammar. River to stone, stone to root, root to hand. He checks your other wrist, because rivers have twins, because one valley gets more sun than another, because balance is a chorus and not a solo. He listens for echo and answer. He listens for where the song repeats and where it wants to change key. Tongue, he says. Just a glance. He does not peer, he greets. Moisture, color, edges, the landscape of the hour. Too much argument here, he murmurs, touching the air above your midline with a kind finger. Too much wandering here, he adds, touching the air above your brow. Eyes also speak, he says, not in drama, in how light decides to rest there, in the weight of the lower lid after late days, in the quiet that returns when people remember not to perform. He asks about food without turning you into a chart. What comforted? What felt like apology after? When did you stop? Not to catch you, to catch a rhythm that forgot a bar line. He asks about sleep the way friends do, how long you visited it, how often it visited you back, what woke when nothing should, what softened when nothing did. He nods when you say the word buzzing. Wind understands that dialect. He asks about season and place. Crisp air that accelerates, damp days that slow the page, heat that writes in all caps. He asks about sorrow's appetite, about joy's timing. He asks in such a way that answers don't need armor. Then he returns to the pulse, surface, mid, deep, left, then right. He listens for the bridge between the three winds. He listens for whom the bridge belongs to tonight. Your body answers with phrases it learned from valleys and kitchens and beds. He releases your wrist as if placing a child into sleep. No flourish, no diagnostic trumpet. Wind is eager and tired, he says. Fire is clever and impatient. Water Earth is loyal and a little heavy. His voice makes these not insults, but invitations. How do we respond, you ask? We adjust the room they share, he says. More exhale for wind, cool pictures for fire, light movement for Water Earth, then food like a friend, and evening like a promise kept. He takes out a small wooden box. Inside, nothing shiny, only fibers of bark, seeds with patience, roots that smell of rain's house. He does not name them for you, not yet. Stories first. He smiles, then sips. He turns to the novice. Show the bowl, he says. She brings a wide clay bowl, half full of warm water. Thin oil trembles on the surface, ringing the bowl with a dim moon. This is how pulse should feel, he says, when wind, fire, and lake remember their jobs. The surface carries a sheen that isn't proud. The mid-depth moves with strength that isn't noisy. The bottom keeps its cool without hiding. He still has your wrist in his other hand, checking your river against the bowl's quiet. If you like, he offers, place one palm on the belly, one on the heart. It is night school for fingers. Feel the belly rise a little. That is Water Earth making a bed. Feel the heart answer. That is fire saying it can see. Let the breath connect them. That is wind remembering it is a messenger, not a judge. Is it always the same fingers, you ask? 3 and 3. He nods. Light that notices the leaf. Lighter that notices the branch. Lightest that notices the trunk and roots. Pressing harder does not make a river speak more truth. It only makes the listener louder. He asks about your day's pace, where it rushed for no reason, where it lagged and offended the hour. He asks what you read before sleep, not titles, but temperatures. What inside you grew cold, what grew hot, what simply wanted a blanket and a lamp put out on time. He invites a 1-minute breath with you. In 4, out 6, he watches the way the river under his fingers begins to agree. "See," he says, "how the wrist tells the story back, not from faith, from physics made friendly. He does not promise a cure by morning. He promises companionable weather. He promises a room that knows how to be evening. He promises a bowl by the bed for warm water, because small rituals are bridges that hold. Then he speaks to the novice so you can hear. When wind speaks too fast, we do not argue faster. When fire wants to win, we do not appoint a general. When water earth will not move, we do not insult the lake. We offer each a task only they can love. He lifts your wrist a final time, not to recheck, to say thank you. Bodies respond to gratitude better than to verdicts. He covers your hand with the soft cloth. Now we give herbs their chance to be elders, he says. Now we let food be a letter of kindness. Now we let the room speak. He sets a warm stone on the table. Remember weight, he says. Remember that sleep is a kind of weight that heals. Outside, the slope takes snow. Inside, the bowl cools. Your pulse feels like a river you might live beside. If you wish, place one breath here. In softly through the nose. Out longer, like a silent bell. Keep the elder's touch in memory. Light, lighter, lightest. When you are ready, we will walk to the shelves. We will greet the dried flowers and roots as teachers. We will learn why some warmth belongs to evening, why some cool belongs to thinking, and why taste is a compass older than maps. The shelves are a quiet forest. Bundles sleep in paper and twine. Labels are small and respectful. Nothing shouts. Everything waits to be asked. The elder opens a drawer that smells like mountain dawn. Dried flowers, sun kept for winter. Roots, earth's slow handwriting. Seeds, punctuation for future sentences. Leaves, maps of summers already finished. These are not tricks, he whispers. They are neighbors that remember rain. We ask, they answer, and the body remembers how to answer too. He does not rush the asking. Rushing is a poor translator. He sets out 5 small plates. Bitter, pungent, sweet, sour, astringent. Taste is a compass older than maps, he smiles. Blends speak more languages than solos. He lifts a pinch of myrobalan, the 3 brothers of sour wisdom, Chebulic's steady hand, Emblic's cool lantern, Beleric's soft broom. Together, they teach fire its boundaries, he says, and remind wind to sit before speaking. He shows cardamom, paths opening in the chest, warmth that does not scold, a door in a hillside you hadn't seen. Walk through, breathe easier, he says. Then walk back out with a lighter step. Nutmeg next, night's hush in a seed, not for chasing sleep down corridors, for dimming lamps at a pace the room respects. Too much is a loud guest, he warns gently. Enough is a lullaby that doesn't sing its own name. A thread of saffron, a sunrise folded thin. It warms without boasting, colors without conquering, brightens edges that grew tired. Fire loves saffron's manners, the elder says. It remembers to glow, not glare. He names juniper with the smoke already curling. Not a wall, a clearing in a crowded hour, air that feels washed and possible. Wind hears itself in juniper and slows to understand, he says. The novice brings a mortar. Stone meets stone with the patience of snow melt. The elder does not pound. He circles. He listens to the scent like a story he once knew. These are teachers, not kings, he says. We do not crown them. We invite them to sit at the same table as breath and food. Medicine is a meeting, not a takeover. The mortar agrees in small voices. He prepares a simple evening blend for the traveler, a touch of warming spice for the belly's small lamp, a cooling friend for the mind's bright coal, a smoothing leaf so joints and thoughts do not scrape. Not prescription, companionship, he says softly. Stories and sips. He pours hot water like weather arriving over ridges. Steam lifts and chooses its path. He cups the bowl as if warming a bird. Hold this, he says, and meet it with the breath you've been practicing. In through the nose, 4 gentle counts. Out longer, 6 easy steps down. Between the sips, silence like fresh snow. Silence is not empty here. It is full of things finishing their work. He speaks of oils without the urgency of advertisements. Warm palms over cool joints, a slow circle to greet the day's miles. A light stroke down the calves, telling wind, you may rest. External medicine is often a way of saying thank you, he says. The body hears tone as much as it hears chemistry. He mentions compresses the way one mentions a window. Warm cloth at the belly when thoughts turn to knives. Cool cloth at the brow when fire writes in caps. Not punishment, not bribe. A reminder of season in a room that forgot. The traveler asks for names and numbers. The elder offers stories and measures of common sense. Every body is a landscape, he says. Every season has an accent. We blend to match the weather you are carrying tonight. He turns to the novice. What do you see? He asks. Wind that wanted to help and got lost, she says. Fire that loves being useful and grew proud. Water earth that stayed to clean until it sat down on the floor. The elder nods. Good notes, he smiles. Now make tea from your notes. He shows her how much is enough by weight in the palm, by sound in the mortar, by the moment scent steps forward and says, stop. Recipes are fences, he says. Practice is pasture. He speaks one sentence for you to keep. Plants are letter arrows from places your body remembers. When you read them slowly, your breath answers in kind. He lights a strand of moxa, lets its heat meet the air. He shows it, puts it out. Not tonight. Knowing a tool exists is sometimes enough rest for the mind. He sets a small jar. Travel blend, the label says. Indigo ink. For long roads and thin beds, a touch for wind to find its chair. The window remembers. Night leans in. The room holds the scent of resin and the idea of sleep. Herbs do their unremarkable work, the best kind. Will I need this forever? You ask. Nothing good is forever. Balance is relearned, forgotten, then learned again. Plants are tutors who don't mind repeating the lesson. Breath is the class that never closes. He places 3 packets in your palm. Evening, storm, travel. Use with your listening, not your anxiety. Then he adds the soft sentence. This is a story of tradition. It is not your doctor. If worry grows teeth, see the one you trust. Let stories and science hold hands. The novice pours warm water into a clean cup. No ceremony, only care. The elder wipes the board with a damp cloth that smells of lemon bark. The mortar sleeps again. The drawer forest closes its eyes. Outside, frost begins to write its silver alphabet on the sill. Inside, your shoulders have misplaced a little weight. The bowl is empty and useful. The lamp learns the shape of steady. Next, he says, we let food be a letter of kindness, not a performance. A bowl that helps wind sit, helps fire smile, helps lake remember the moon. He stands without hurry. The room stands with him. If you wish, place one breath here. In softly, out longer. Let the taste on the tongue be the small bell that starts the quiet hour. The herbs will walk with you, only as far as the door, and the door is kind. The kitchen is small and exact, a low flame, a clay pot that remembers every winter, a wooden spoon that never hurries. This is where food learns to be a letter of kindness. The elder opens the pantry. Not a parade, just enough. A jar of rice, like quiet snow. A little lentil, earth sweet. Ghee, the color of late afternoon. Ginger that smells like good advice. Evening asks for simple warmth, he says. Not heavy, not raw, not icy. Let the belly be a small lamp, not a bonfire. Let taste be clear so the mind doesn't chase it. He sets water to simmer and speaks to each wind. For wind that runs, he says, choose soft textures that hold you. Porridge, stewed fruit, a mild soup, ghee, and a whisper of ginger, salt enough to feel welcomed. Eat seated, no news, no lists. Wind sits when the room sits. For fire that brags, he smiles. Cool the picture, not the stove. Bitter greens wilted kindly. A squeeze of moon. Lemon after the pot is off. Coriander instead of chili. Warm, never scorching. Satisfying, never daring. For water earth that won't rise, he says. Light the path without shouting. Spices that speak in full sentences. Cumin, black pepper, mustard seed. Smaller bowl, earlier hour. Walk 10 slow minutes after. Just enough to remind the lake it flows. He turns the flame lower. The body listens to tempo, he says. If you cook fast, it eats fast. We cook as we wish to sleep. Steady, warm, unforced. Steam beads on the lid. He lifts it, and the room changes key. Ginger opens the door. Rice bows. Lentil adds its calm paragraph. A handful of greens goes in last. The color stays alive. He turns off the flame before the pot asks. Heat inside will finish the sentence. Enough is a medicinal word, he says, ladling. Stop when the body sighs once. Honest hunger fades. Habit still wants to talk. Let habit speak outdoors. Let the bowl end indoors. You eat without theater. Spoon, pause, breath through the nose. A warmth climbs the spine like sunrise learning manners. He offers small companions, never demands them. A wedge of stewed apple for wind's shyness. A spoon of cool yogurt with toasted cumin for fire's pride. A slice of pickled radish to wake water earth without complaints. Choose one, he says. Not all. Medicine works best when it isn't a crowd. He clears as he goes. The kitchen returns to simple. No stack of dishes arguing with sleep. No open jars rehearsing tomorrow. Tea, almost nothing. Hot water with a crushed cardamom pod, or fennel seeds that remember summer breezes. He pours, then leaves the cup alone. Some medicines act while you are not watching. People ask for rules, he says, sitting. Rules are scaffolding. Listening is the house. In winter, more soup. In summer, more breath between bites. In grief, softer food. In anger, fewer tales told at table. In joy, remember to taste. Joy eats quickly. He watches the bowl and your eyes. Healing is in the timing, he says. Eat early, giving sleep the room. Late meals let dreams do the mending. The novice wipes the counter, lemon bark scent. The pot rests, the flame is out. The window clears its throat. Gratitude is also food, he adds. Before rising, name 3 workers, hands, eyes, stomach, and release them from overtime. They return tomorrow with better posture. He draws a circle in rice. This is enough, he repeats, softer. Enough warms wind, respects fire, lightens water earth. Enough leaves the lamp lit, but unwatched. Palm on the belly for a breath. Feel the steady lamp glow. Let the jaw soften, the neck loosen. The breath lengthens on its own. He points to the sleeping room. The kitchen's done its part. He smiles. The bed will do the rest. Take the slow path. One light off, then another. Leave a trail your body can follow back. Outside, frost writes soft. Inside, plates dry quietly. The elder hangs the spoon, the day's last sentence placed for tomorrow. Next, he says, we practice calm and offer a blessing. Breath will be the thread. Space will be the needle. Sleep will do the stitching. Lights low. Window a darker blue. Lamp a steady quiet. Sit or lie down. One hand on belly, one on heart. In softly for 4, out gently for 6. 3 rounds. Pause. Repeat. Imagine a mountain lake, moon resting on the water. Thoughts move under it without hurry. If heat rises, picture snow on far peaks. If heaviness spreads, picture flags lifting in a kind wind. If mind scatters, hear a small bell at each exhale. Scan, crown, brow, throat, chest, belly, hips, legs, ankles, feet. Release where you can. Forgive where you can't. Whisper a wish on the breath. May I rest. May I mend. May all beings sleep in safety. Blessing. May wind sit beside you like a friend. May fire warm you without demand. May water earth hold you with patience. May space make room for gentle dreams. Let the room finish the talking. Let the body keep only the simplest tasks. Let the night carry the rest. Now we fade to mountain hush, distant wind, a soft bowl, quiet stars. Breathe as you are. Sleep as you need.